There's
Tweeple?
some big words you use,
A tweeple?
no,
Just like
something
the
like,
brushing the tweets.
like the code is called something.
I've got the whole screen and this little area, so if you can try to stay there as much as possible.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Alright, the thing we're gonna start with just in terms of, why people tweet, maybe give you a quick idea of what Twitter is. For me, Twitter really is just a way to get resources, to stay current with the educational trends. The things I follow technology teachers, I follow language arts teachers, I'll follow social studies teachers, a lot of director of technology, people. And so I have a whole, collection of people that add to my my PLN, which is my professional learning network. So it's about a 4-minute thing, and that way if there's people have any problems, hopefully in 4 minutes we can figure them all out, and we'll just play.
What is MVPSPD?
That stuff those are hashtags, which I'm going to introduce
That's what
to
I
you.
didn't know what a that's the word.
That's a hashtag, and not that you need to know it at this very second, but on Twitter, we are going to be using, you don't have to use it, but for this particular one, we're doing a hashtag MDPSPD, so whenever you guys tweet and you add this hashtag to it, it'll be a collection, and that way when we are talking with each other, discussing, adding resources, we can know that if we just do this hashtag, we can always stay, if we missed a meeting or if we missed a session, we can always go there and catch up, because you guys are going to be tweeting in here in a second. So we'll come back to that.
I'm on the School of Education faculty at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Our department places a strong emphasis on instructional technology, including a laptop requirement for our students and an internal professional development process that constitutes a significant portion of my professional workload. And yet, when I introduce Twitter to the faculty, I frequently get this response. Actually, it's usually expressed more like this, and often accompanied by skepticism or even disdain. Even with our commitment to technology, there seems to be particular opprobrium heaped upon Twitter. I sometimes wonder if it's because Twitter sounds like fritter, or if tweeting just sounds to higher ed faculty like a frivolous waste of time. When I ask, I get some fairly predictable responses. Most of these are understandable, based on legitimate concerns that need to be dealt with through the faculty development process. But there's one fairly common response that concerns me. I really don't know how to respond to that. Of course, many of these responses are not so much reasons as they are excuses, and that's why we're here today. Given the preconceptions that surround Twitter in higher education, I thought it might be instructive to take a little trip down memory lane back to the early days of Twitter when I first encountered it in 2007 and started using it, to see how my thinking about Twitter has evolved over time. I'll admit that I have a ready, fire, aim approach to new technologies. I tend to put them through their paces and see what sticks. This leads to some notable misses, but also results in some important bullseyes for me and my students. So when Twitter was introduced, I eagerly signed up for an account. Initially, I wasn't exactly thrilled with what I was hearing. By and large, people were simply reporting on the mundane things that they were doing or places that they were visiting. It was as if I were in a huge office break room overhearing dozens of trivial conversations from people I didn't know very well about topics that meant little to me. I even left Twitter for a couple months, having found very little value in it. But as I explored and read more about Twitter, the more I became intrigued with it as a way to engage in personally and potentially meaningful conversations given the right mix of followers. I went back, found some interesting people and issues to follow, and began to build my personal learning network of colleagues, mentors, and organizations that held interests similar to mine. I could post resources, answer questions for help, and become exposed to a wide variety of opinions and resources that helped me substantially in my professional and personal development. Eventually, Jason and David made their way into my PLN through some contacts that I had made, and of course each of them had a PLN of their own, some elements of which overlapped mine and each other's, but many of which led me to new potential sources of help and information. And those networks led to others, and if I could effectively model this in 3D so that it didn't look like the scary monkey face that you see here, you'd be instantly aware of the multiplicative powers of Twitter's networking capabilities. The result is that I have access to thousands of conversations about topics that are meaningful to me professionally. A simple 140-character message that I send out might receive dozens or even hundreds of responses. Access to information has never been easier. I began to conceptualize Twitter as a very large professional conference. Not this part of the conference, but the good part, the part in which colleagues and mentors network with each other on a personal level, exchanging information and discovering new resources that enhance their professional lives. To me, this is the real power of Twitter. Whereas tools such as Diigo, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google Reader add depth to my personal learning network, Twitter adds breadth and allows me to participate in conversations that help me every single day. Twitter is the anchor and the most important element of my personal learning network. I hope we can make a case for effective uses of Twitter in higher education. It's an essential communication tool for both students and instructors, and a critical tool for professional development and networking. Thank you, and please keep in touch.
All right. So that's a quick, in a nutshell, of Twitter. And he says higher education. I think it applies across the board in terms of where we are. I just want to pull up my Twitter page. So the initial person who would want to start Twittering would go to twitter.com. They would create a username, and then they would create their profile. So the keys to, I guess, sort of starting your Twitter is upload a picture, because you usually, if you have an egg, that sometimes will make people think, uh-oh, I don't know who this person is. I can't connect with the face. It could be a spammer. And so if you upload a face, and then if you do a little bio, Anne's bio, do you have twitter.com open yet? Well, Anne's bio is pretty cool. She talks about being a 30-year educator, trying to get her feet wet into this, Twitterverse. So mine pretty much just says what I'm looking for. I'm a science teacher, I'm a techie teacher, design thinking, Web 2.0 and beyond, always serving for proven, effective, yet cutting-edge educational glories. That's been my little bio since I started. I don't plan to change it anyway. I think I added design thinking because I'm starting to look for people who are into design thinking. But that helped people trust who I was. Now granted, again, I could put anything there and I could be not being truthful, and eventually they figured it out with the kind of tweets I did. But this way, like-minded educators knew who I was. They searched for science teachers. This would pop up. So this right here is about SciTech EDU. Who I'm following, who's following me, and then listed. I like the listed part. I don't list because I haven't had the time to really sit there and go through my follows list. But listed, other people will take you and put you in a category of that sort of match them. And so like I'm listed with Georgia teachers, and I'll just pull up the listed part just to give you an idea. So all of these people have put me in a box with other types of teachers. So people who participate in EduCon. That way, there's people that when I went to the conference that I connected with, but I didn't get their Twitter name, I can find them here, and then I can remember, oh, I remember Ira Sokol. Going back to my profile. So again, going with the listed, just in terms of like the Atlanta network. This is Bo Adams from Westminster, and he doesn't have it's not a huge list, but he has collected some teachers around the Atlanta area, Trinity, Lovett, and whatnot. So we'll go back to this. So you have your followers. Here are the eggheads. You have M. Rothbard's, M. Rothbard 1. Here's S.V. Curvo. And then we have some other people. So let's just pull up what it looks like.
Where eggheads.
The way I was able to start with my Twitter was I went to people I knew in the education world. The first person I went to was Cool Cat Teacher. And Cool Cat Teacher has a huge list. She has a huge following. She's down south in Camilla, Georgia. And I trusted her. I had followed her through websites for years ago. And so I knew that I could go on her list and follow some certain people. So that's how I started my list. And then from there, it branched out. Oh, Pi's following me. So what happens when someone wants to follow you? Well, you go to your follows list. And for example, Pi wants to is following me. I don't have to follow her. And there are people on my follow list that I don't follow. It just happens to be that I'm not interested in them. It doesn't work for me in terms of what I'm looking for.
Well,
But Pi, of course, I want to follow. So I'm going to click follow. And now she's going to see the things that I tweet. And I will see what she tweets. This guy, he has a serious interest in learning. I'm not really sure if I really trust who this guy is. So I'm going to click on his name. And over here I can see how many tweets he's done. That's not bad. Who he's following. He has a lot of followers he's listed. And I can read some of his tweets to see if they seem to be similar. He uses wikis. Okay, well I need to see a little bit more. And so I pull up his page. I see WebTube Classroom. He's a very well-known Twitterer in the education world. So yeah, he seems to be, his focus seems to be education. It doesn't seem to be much about spamming stuff, political stuff, because I try not to, with my SciTech EDU, I stay away from any type of topics that don't relate to education. So this is twitter.com, and it's pretty easy. You also have, your timeline of tweets. You also have your mentions. That's when someone mentions you in a tweet. So Amanda just tweeted getting started on a Twitter professional development. She used my name at SciTech EDU. She also mentioned the school, and then she also used the hashtag. This way, when we go to the hashtag, if I click on it, it will organize all the hashtags of hashtag MVPSPD. So Amanda's done 2 tweets, I've done 1. Web2O last night retweeted. And then for this presentation, I pulled 3 together. So if you have a Twitter account up right now, why don't you practice just sort of saying hello to the Twitter world, and how you would do that is, see it says what's happening? In this space, this is where you tweet. So the first thing I would do is I would hashtag MVPSPD, welcome to Twitter.
You have to capitalize PD?
Nope. And I'm just going to include our school just simply because I like to throw it out there. It gives recognition. Rocks. I also like saying rocks.
Do you want us to put that in?
That's my message. You can write
She
anything.
said hello to all since.
Excellent. Did you? What did you put your hashtag? Did you put your hashtag MVPSPD?
welcome to Twitter.
Excellent. And I'm going to tweet it. There it is. You can say anything you want, just so that you get out there. You're just tweeting your first tweet. This is my first tweet in Twitter. So if you click on the hashtag, eventually it should start popping up, and I might even go to my tweet deck.
Does that have to be capital or?
No. And are you guys all working on TweetDeck, by the way?
Don't mean to be stupid, but do I skip a space after I write that?
After you write what?
MVPSPD?
Yeah, it's just like
Hashtag
a sentence.
MVPSPD, skip a space, yeah.
I'm excited.
Alright, so here, Kelly
Kelly Fez, that's me.
Feds,
Hi, I'm
excellent.
Kelly.
So Kelly, I'm not following Kelly, so I'm gonna click on him, and I'm gonna say I follow him.
So every time I want to send something, do I have to do that?
After we type it on message, what do we
Who you
do?
want to send it to? If I wanted to send it to Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
Well,
If you want to send it to our
You
professional
get
development,
sent.
yes.
Which, why do you have 2
Wait,
hashtags?
Did mine send?
Because it's different searches. You use the hashtags when you search. So this is just gonna be anytime someone searches anything in the school. This one's for our MVPS professional development.
How do we get the where's that?
You can add it to your profile.
You gotta have my name.
Okay, so now I'm gonna pull the TweetDeck up because I do see that you guys are doing TweetDeck, which is awesome. TweetDeck is a way of organizing your tweets, and if you keep hearing that like tweeting noise, that's saying that people are tweeting. Oh, so MM Howard from Trinity, she's watching us. She's reading it. That's wonderful. So she's telling us hello. She's
How
down
do
the
I
street.
reply back to her?
Go to her picture. Oh, Oh wait, you guys might not have this yet, so hold on. Let me show you this. Let's pull up this column so that you have this on your tweet deck. Here, exit out. Okay, so you have mentioned, okay, good.
Okay, so you would get it from your computer and then you would browse it.
Let's exit out of these.
Yes.
Kat, are you doing all right?
We can't get her
I'm
to
doing
stack
my
up, but
PD, yeah.
I'm doing
not
my
following
first
any.
tweet.
No, it's okay.
I tried to follow you, but I couldn't.
Well, let me, good. Let me hold on. Let me get you guys up the hashtag so you can see it. This is going on. Get out of here.
How do you get the tweet deck from your Twitter page?
You just go to tweetdeck.com and download it. It's on your desktop. If you'll exit out of yours,
That's
you
just
don't
mine.
need these two. TweetDeck recommends you don't need those last two columns. All right. So you need to add columns. Right now,
Yeah,
all I have is all my friends that I follow. So I want to add columns because again, what TweetDeck does is it organizes your information. So here's how you guys would, if you would follow my steps. You're going to go to the plus sign. Go to the plus sign. And that should pop up. Is everyone there? No? If you'll go to core, click on core. We'll set that up. Alright, you're good. We're not there. We haven't got there yet. Alright. So this is where you're going to add your columns for your TweetDeck. If you click on core, these are all the things that you could add for your TweetDeck. You have all friends. I think you all have mentions. And you all have direct messages. Is that correct?
Got lost. Do you know that's up above?
Yeah.
Right there, see?
Go to
Yeah.
TweetDeck. I know, well, don't worry about that right now. You're gonna get there, but you have to stay on the same page. Okay.
We got lost from her.
Your tweet deck is on.
So does everyone has these three columns on their thing?
Yes.
I favorite messages because it's resources that I keep. So I'm gonna actually put favorite on there, and you might consider doing that in the future. But I'm gonna add a favorite column. And these are all my favorites. Like last night, Blair recommended a really good math website. Then we have a group of social studies teachers who I thought could pass on to the social studies teachers here. So this is my favorite column. I'm going back to the plus sign now. If you guys would please go to the search bar. So click on search.
Miss Snipecki, what did you click to get that one to pop up?
I clicked favorites.
Should we do that for our favorites?
Favorites is right here.
No, I want to know how you get that whole box to pop up.
I went to plus sign.
And then I go back to plus.
So in this search bar, will you please put hashtag, which is the pound sign, MVP SPD. So
Okay.
hashtag
Wait, I mean, that.
PD.
If there's a sign up here, somebody sign me up.
This is the one you want. Right here.
But we don't have to uppercase PD.
No, I just do it just to do it. So once you have that there, you can hit search, and a column will show up.
Yes.
And your tweets that you just tweeted should pop up. So who's Molly? Oh, Molly just said hello to us. That's great. She's from Canada. She likes Twitter because it connects with like-minded educators from all over the world. Amazing personal learning network. Okay, so has everyone done the search already? Okay, I'm going to add that to mine. Now, this column has our conversation that we've been doing today. We've had people who are Skyping in telling us why they like Skype, but they also have people like M. Rothbard. So you want to follow M. Rothbard.
There you go.
So if you go to her egg, go to M. Rothbard's egg.
You click on the egg.
No, don't click on it, just float over it.
4 things.
4 things. The first thing in the left top corner is called reply. So if I wanted to reply to Melissa, I would reply to her and say, welcome, Melissa. Welcome, Rothbard.
So you do click on the egg?
Well, I was just showing you what that exactly, that
Okay,
would
if I wanted to, I would click on her ad.
You would float over it. So floating over it. The top corner is reply. The second one is a direct message that only she can see.
Oh, which is the
The bottom one is a retweet.
Oh, okay.
And a retweet just sends it out because you want others to see this great tweet that you just found. And then the other one, the star, you have other actions. For example, sometimes you guys will get emails from me that say SciTech@edu. Well, I'll send an email a tweet. I'll email a tweet, or I'll even favorite the tweet. So if I favorite it,
It's gonna go over to your.
it's going to
favorite
pop up
follower.
to my favorites. Now, I don't really want to favor that one, but there it is. But let's talk about following. So I'm going to click on M. Rothbard's name. And right here, you're going to see who she is. She has 2 followers. She's following 2 people. She's tweeted twice. She's a tweeter now. And on here, I can unfollow. Say, I don't want. I'm sick of her. I don't want to follow her anymore. So I unfollow. But I do want to follow her. I wanted to follow all my MVPers because this way I can get a really good collection of educators all in one place. So is everyone good on following? Because there's other ones you can follow on this list.
I tried to
Click
follow
following and it's not
So,
working.
All right.
if I
I
want
tried to
just
follow Ann and Tracy when I first set up my account, and they said that I couldn't do it.
Hey, this is the first week when I get that.
Oprah wants
Can
you
you
to
follow?
follow her.
Well, let's do it now.
Yes.
Now, also, you have to make a decision on what you want for your followers and who you're following. If you wanted a mixture, that's totally fine. Or if you want straight education, then you might choose not to follow Oprah. Because Oprah will, if she follows you and you follow her, then your name gets out to the mass media.
So I
So,
don't
you
wanna,
want to click follow.
so I wanna unfollow Oprah?
Okay, so now you're following Melissa. Let's see who else there is. Oh, someone else just wrote to us from Canada.
Coolest class.
Yeah. So let's see, are you following Andrea?
Where's the
No.
one that I had out
I
following?
didn't follow. Okay, well, I tried those, and then I couldn't get them to go up.
Well, now they're working.
Tracy said something weird, and Ann said something weird, that she wasn't available or something like
Oh, well, see, Ann has a lock on hers.
that.
You have, Ann has to approve who follows her. That's because at the moment, she's not very active. She's getting more active, and so she didn't want to have to monitor if a spammer was following her or if someone else was following her. So let's see who else we have.
How do I get Linda?
Well, Linda's right there. Click on Linda's name.
Amanda?
Yes.
You look fine.
Wow.
Actually, I floated.
Why my following thing is not, I'm trying to follow Melissa. and
I
it's
want,
not
how do I follow?
Man, you're gonna be right here.
Wait, register.
I would never
Click
do
on
that.
my name.
Now, let's talk about
Whoa.
who to follow and maybe start collecting your list. Well, now you're following each other. And it would be great if you, and we will have another Twitter session, by the way.
Thank you.
Where do you go?
You have to.
What is your question?
Oh, where's your number? It just goes when I go to follow it.
That's a very good question. All right. So you want to start adding some people to your follow list, because once you do, then your tweets are going to start popping up. Let me show you what I have on mine. So these people all have tweeted in the last probably, let's see, what's my oldest tweet? My oldest tweet was at 6 o'clock
This morning?
And all these people have already sent me information. Now, I don't have to read all of it. Normally, I'll just quickly scan through, not that fast. All I know is that if I miss it today, I know it's going to come back tomorrow, so I'm not worried that I'm missing. I'm not missing tweets. Okay. So, here's Cobalt Comments. Cobalt Comments. I want to follow you. Excellent, Plumber Place. So let's click on SciTech. So MM Howard, she said hello to all of us. So we'll go click on my name. So here's my user profile. From TweetDeck, I can click on this and say, you know what, I think that person looks pretty cool. I like her bio. Let me see who she's following. So I'm going to go to her Twitter page. There's my Twitter. And let's go to my follows list. And from there, you could use my follow list and maybe pick through some people that you might be interested in. So, let me just pull it down and then we'll start there. Okay, so she's an e-learning specialist. This one is a teacher of students in English, lifelong learner, lover of poetry, power walks, and local organic food. So let's see what she has to say. So she has, she's talking about Romeo and Juliet. There's a lot of symbolism. Why did Lerman have Mercutio dress up like a woman in the movie? So not only do you get resources, you're also getting discussions. I have to say, I personally haven't really developed any close relationships with anyone on Twitter. Philip Cummings in Memphis, the people at PDS, Cindy Brock, some people at Lovett or Trinity, I've had face-to-face contact with them, but there's not a person I regularly contact except for like Amanda, Nicole, or Andrea. But now I have a even closer PLN that I can contact on a daily basis. So I'm not so concerned on Twitter about talking to people. I like to share and I like to respond and comment. I'm doing it more. And by doing it more, that means that others are going to start engaging me. Because for the longest time, I thought, no one talks to me on Twitter. And I'd always say, Amanda, something's wrong with me. And what it is I have to reach out and reply. And like someone says, oh, what's the weather like in your area? Oh, Atlanta, rainy. And I can just do that really quickly, and somehow that makes a difference in the Twitter world. But you don't have to do that, yes. So, okay, so this person, she's a wife, mother, teacher, trying to learn more about incorporating technology into her life. This was a 6th grade earth science teacher. She's actually down in Gwinnett, and I just connected with her, and I've talked to her back and forth, and she wants to come visit the school and see what's going on. But she has a great blog, so that's why I was following her. Some other people to think about, so if I just pull my list down.
Ms. Campbell, did you already tell them about, you can click on the other person's, like, we can click on SciTech.edu and see everybody she's following?
Yeah, I showed them my list. So this person does science methods. This was a K through 5 social studies coordinator. So I know I could go to him for social studies research thing. Like Ann yesterday had 2 days ago was looking for clauses, and I contacted @EnglishTeacher. She hasn't been able to find anything, but she said she'd keep looking.
Do we have to, you don't have to push save or anything?
No.
Okay.
Mary, if somebody's tweeted us, does it pop up or do we have to go to?
Well, here's the thing, you guys, let's look at your settings, because some of you guys are having things pop up in the corner, and that's sort of annoying. So let's turn that off if you want. If you'll go to your settings part, right here, it's a little, let's just talk about that, because if you don't like that chirping noise, you can turn it off. So here's the general TweetDeck settings. I have narrow columns. I'm going to pull them out now because I wanted to show more.
So you recommend that or
What
no?
are we going to? All right, go to.
You go to this little tool right here called settings.
And then we click on it?
Right. Now, when I send updates, all I have to do is press enter. I click that as an option. Whereas instead of having to go up and hit the send button, if I hit enter, my TweetDeck automatically knows my tweet will send out. I click that. I don't need keyboard shortcuts, so I need to take that off.
Should I keep that on mine or take it off?
No, you don't need it.
How do you get the little tweets?
I'm coming to it. So then if we go to Twitter, so we were at general, now we're at Twitter. Nothing, I didn't really check these. I think they were already checked for me, so I'm just gonna tweet them there. Twitter updates, again. I have allowed TweetDeck to manage my tweet. I don't even know what this stuff is. I don't want to know. But I said, okay. Notifications. This is where you guys are going to be noticing. My sound right here is over here on notifications. That's 100% tweets. I think right now you guys are getting these things. Let me see. You're getting things popping up in the corners. Eventually they should pop up for me. Go back to that setting, go to notifications. I turned it off because I don't, oh there it is. See, I can't stand this. Shel Taro, by the way, is a great person to follow. And I can get a list and send it out if you want, but Shel Taro's a great, she's a pretty cool educator to a lot of great resources. But I'm going to turn detail off, and I'm going to turn summary off, And I'm gonna turn my sound down.
Summaries off.
Uh-huh.
Why is it so loud? That's okay, we do go.
The reason I take it off is because when my tweet deck's not even on and I'm using other things, that thing will keep popping up
Okay.
and it bugs me. I can't stand that. So,
And should we put safe setting or go?
yes.
Okay, do that now, so seven?
Well, you don't have, no, she's leaving.
Oh, okay.
Other things you have, color and fonts, you guys can change these. This is the original theme. I can do the light theme, and let's see, that's the light theme. Some people visually, like Nicole needs hers like this. I personally like the original theme.
Huh.
But you can also add other colors to it. You can make, like, let's see, primary black, I could do it. Let's do Georgia.
Nice.
So there's that. It really is your preference what is good for your eyes. Secondary background color, let's do it green.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Oh, so I like it.
Blue. And then my text color, I can make it black. Can't see it.
But where does it say
Huh.
save?
Yeah, it is.
Save is all down in the bottom.
No, mine says unfollow.
I'm going back to original.
Yeah, you've already, apparently you've already saved yours. Just pop it in the sauce.
Your services, you don't really need to do anything. I do TwitPic if I have to put a picture up. And you don't need to know about services. Accounts, again, if you had more, this is my M. Cantwell ATL, that's my celebrity haunts and stalking and political stuff. But I don't mix the two simply because they're totally conflicting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's that, and you want to hit save settings.
So Mary, how much time do you devote to this in a day, do you
A
think?
lot.
I can go through my stuff. I could spend 10 minutes a day or I could spend 30 minutes a day. It just depends. I'm able to do multitask. So like I'm watching TV and I'll have it up. It just depends on what I'm looking for. Like yesterday I found this great writing activity through this new teacher. And I sent it out to Melissa and Kerbo and Amanda and Andrea and Nicole. And I just happened to find it just because of the follower. And so if I look, I know that I'm looking for other people, or at least I'm doing that. Not that you guys are telling me to do it, it's just I want to. So if I wasn't doing that, I was just looking for myself, I probably wouldn't spend as much time on there.
But how difficult is it for you to find really good ideas?
Not
from
difficult.
these
I just,
people?
right here, if I just go right now to my list.
So you know the
From
people
this
that are
morning.
gonna have good ideas.
So let me see my friends. The best sources of advice for teachers and on how to be better bloggers. So I'm not a big blogger, so that wouldn't really work for me. Oh, and then the chats. This is another, and I didn't get to this, and we'll chat. These are great listings of different chats that go on throughout Twitter. Right.
Mary, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I won't listen.
No worries. Let's see. This one is on influential essays on essential reading. I think that's what that is, but I don't do that. Let's see. All right, this would be a great one. Best sites for learning about protests in Egypt. This is a current thing. This is what's going on. So this person collects those things and so gives different links to that.
Wow.
And that's just, again, I didn't search for it. I just went through my list.
Is that blogger, who is that guy?
He's Larry.
He's that guy that you said that's been doing this for a while?
No, he has been doing it for a while. He's an inner city high school teacher,
Oh.
ESL and mainstream. He's in Sacramento, Florida. California.
Oh.
So let's see if anyone else this morning has done anything pretty. Creating projects in Google Earth. That's pretty good. Language chats. There are language chats today, Angela. So different language chats.
You can also post questions out there. I've done that, and what I have found is if I do it just to all my friends, then I don't usually get replies. But if I will pick a hashtag to use, like the elementary chat one, or if it's about the apps that I'm using in kindergarten, if I do the ed app hashtag, then people will reply, because you're getting all your friends, you're getting tons of stuff all day, but those usually get fewer things.
Right,
So
like-
that's when they reply to me.
And this person who just, I asked again, if you're from somewhere, could you please tweet us, say hi, tell us where you are and why you Twitter. This one actually sent us his blog of why I use Twitter. And I don't believe
Then did you sit there and read it?
I'm
Sometime? Oh, you
I'm not
got
the
it.
biggest blog reader. It's too much information and I don't have the time to. But I do have an RSS feed that I collect different blog sites. So this person does why Twitter.
It's kinda neat.
So and then here's okay. Let's do this. Let's say we want art teachers or elementary. We'll do art. Hashtag art.
I can't use that hashtag, that's just the kind
So this is all related to art in some way. And some of it's probably good and some of it probably doesn't have anything to do with me. But great photographic work from a talented UK photographer. Let's see what I pull up. Oh, that didn't come up.
I guess you're doing.
You go right here to the plus sign.
I said,
Uh-huh.
the hashtag art.
So there. So for example, let's do
Spam.
Okay.
elementary chat.
Oh,
Okay, sorry, put hashtag science. Can you be more specific?
All these teachers are in elementary schools. And they not only are they great to follow, they have great resources. Read the Green Forest Journal, tips, ideas, activities for home and class. Go with the flow. Let's see what that one is.
Mary,
Yeah.
you know, when I did my little idea thing, I was going to compile a list of picture books to use in units in younger grades,
Okay.
elementary school. So if I wanted to get people's ideas of good books to
So
send
I
out.
would go on Twitter, picture. Let's see, books. So thanks for mentioning, so big picture stories, books, big picture books. Read about my one and all-time favorite picture books, Henry's Freedom
I could,
Box.
that which I just read.
Uh-huh.
So I could probably put picture books in a particular topic, and it would
Yeah, you would search, I just
just
searched
search on
picture
Twitter
books.
then,
Yeah.
like that.
In big picture books, let's see, fantastic article on picture books, what she'd have to say.
Wow.
Now, for example, in social studies, you guys are doing solar system.
Like a dictionary, I mean.
But could you do,
So
could
these
you
are
do
all
solar system picture books? Or not, that's too broad.
That's
Wait a
too
minute,
much.
like civil rights.
Right. You could go to those picture book people, like Big Picture Book at Big
And
Picture.
then do a search within.
Yeah. You're welcome. We'll do it again. But like again, this is latest news on asteroids.
Could I go to something like first grade teachers?
Oh, that's an excellent one. There actually is this person. I don't
Oh,
know.
that would be great.
I just followed her. She's great. Following. Grade 1. She's a great resource for first grade. Let's click on her. So not only does she, if her list would have first grade list people.
Wow. Okay.
So she started using Twitter as an online agenda, now using it to connect with great students, fabulous parents, and amazing educators. So she'll interact with her parents, she'll send out tweets. World's Math Day coming up March 1st.
There's all kinds.
The Great Smarty Problem became the Great Fish Problem, shared my reflections, I'd love to hear your thoughts too. And so she has a blog. And you could ask her for anything and
Okay. I got some children, maybe want to see me.
so we'll complete this.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you for sharing.
Do
your-
we, do we have to sign?
Amanda has the list, I believe.
I wrote it down.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank
Oh,
you,
you're
Mary.
welcome.
do this again?
Yeah, we do next week.
Every morning.
We'll do it next week.
Mary, mine's not really working.
No, it is, it will work.